I finished stronger. The knockdown, his knockdown was a flash knockdown. No excuses.
Did that come back, obviously, to haunt you, that first round, that 10-8?
Maybe, but I won the fight.
Don't listen to me, Robert. Listen, I've got huge respect for this man. He showed he's tough, he's durable, he's skillful. You're the man. I thought I won that. Was there really not?
You think you won?
Yeah. By the way,
why?
give me soldier. Look at he. So it's a break. But now it's a break. Come on, I'm still pretty.
Why do you feel you won the fight?
I saw the cleanest shots. He said he was gonna outbox me. I was moving my feet, picking his head off. But listen, let's do it again.
Well, let's do it again at light heavyweight.
No, heavyweight. But it don't matter. I'm gonna take over anyway. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he does. But I'm saying every time
you fight again at 168?
If it's a rematch, yeah.
You're the best two super middleweights in the world. I'm going home next. Then come to London, please. I'll pay you. See Eddie, come in. We pay you.
You're upset with the... So let's talk about the end of the fight first, then we'll bring in Floyd and Eddie. The end of the fight, clearly...
He hurt me.
He hurt you. Knocked you down for the first time.
Yeah. Oh, he hit me, but I'm more balance. I've got to watch it back. But I'm kind of hurt. But I've got to give him respect. I've always respected him. He's a good all-round fighter, I'll say. But listen, still pay the bills. You see the skills. I'm willing to do it again. But all respect to him, man. Trust me. Where's my belt? Come on, there.
You gonna do it again?
Huh?
Want to do it again?
Come on. I'm gonna move like anyway. Yeah.
Floyd, why not fight again at 168?
Badou Jack has got too big for the 168 pound. We had plans on after this fight, moving up to light heavyweight. This is the second time in a row Badou Jack has got a bad decision.
But this was a good fight. This was a great fight. So there's a lot of disappointment because both guys feel that they won, but this was a tremendous fight. You know that.
James DeGale is a hell of a fighter, but tonight he didn't win. I respect him as a fighter, but Badou Jack was the better man tonight, but James DeGale is one hell of a fighter.
I'm the man with the draw. Don't interrupt me.
What's it going to take? Hold on. What's it going to take to have these two guys settle it in the ring and fight again?
Let's go again. You don't want it. Let's go.
Wants to do it again. You want to do it again?
I'll fight anybody.
This happened 2 times in a row.
Third time.
The judges didn't score a 10-8 round. He got hit in the first round. The judges did what they had to do, what they saw in front of them, Floyd.
It's all about being fair. At the end of the day, a lot of times, I don't know what the judges be looking at. When I fought Oscar De La Hoya, one of the judges had him up by unanimous decision.
Let's see the replay.
Had a little bit of technical difficulties.
Can't you broke him at the belt from behind DeGale that time? He didn't want to.
And Badou Jack did uncork one just at the bell.
Exactly. This time we're getting smart enough not to be in between.
James DeGale, in what was a very close round, as a righty, getting on the inside and doing some good work.
Past the midpoint of this, the penultimate round here at Barclays Center.
was a war. That's a war. And one fought at a high level as well, and this crowd rises to its feet to show their appreciation. Remember, two knockdowns in this fight. First round, DeGale scored one. The last round, Jack scored one that kind of evens it up at 2 10-8 rounds. So everything that happened in between is how this fight will be decided.
As a fellow fighter, just humbling to watch these guys fight such a violent fight, but such, you know, a lot of times violent fights are not very highly skilled fights. It was such a violent fight, but such a highly skilled fight. And just as a fighter myself, I'm just humbled to watch that type of action between these two guys.
Hey guys, it's only January 14th already tonight here in Brooklyn. Not one, but two Fight of the Year candidates, and boy, oh boy, Badou Jack and James DeGale, you hate to see one of them walk out a loser out, but it's going to be a tough one to score.
A very difficult one to score because all those rounds in between, I see Louisville Val hoping his man did enough to ultimately win this fight. And we'll take a look at what the action in that last round, which there was a knockdown. The left hook hurt him, then the right hand got James DeGale and sent him down. Now there was a full maybe a minute and 20 seconds left in the round at this point. So James DeGale was in lots of trouble. And we take a look at it again and we see how that right hand got to him.
Around the temple. That's where your equilibrium is.
And give James DeGale credit for getting through this and finishing that round.
Because he didn't hold right away, so he took some more punishment as soon as he got up. I mean, he didn't really have to hold for like another 25 seconds after that.
And it was amazing that he was able to get up after this and sustain through the round. But that was a big moment for Badou Jack in this fight.
Let's hope this fight sets the tone for the rest of the year, guys. What a night of action here at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Floyd Mayweather on his feet. He can't control himself.
Busy night for the promoter, Mayweather tonight, huh?
So two men showed grit and courage in there. DeGale and also Arthur McKenzie Jr. for getting through the fight with a little scrape on his cheek from getting hit.
Came back from the knockdown as well.
We know Badou Jack thinks he won it.
All three guys came up.
I had some technical difficulties, so I had to do the whole. I had to do everything over and over. I had to do everything over again. So I'm sharing the video around.
Yeah, very good point. Oh my! Tremendous display of what makes the sweet science and boxing so beautiful and brutal. Two champions. And a sign of sportsmanship between the two champions.
It would not be impossible for this fight to end up a draw.
I was thinking the same thing.
Can y'all see me? Does it say that it's live? Can y'all see me right now? I'm kind of let's listen to the cards and then we're going to start.
Knockdown, so that kind of eliminates the odd number.
And after the knockdown, this is the portion of the last portion of the round where we saw lots of courage from DeGale and Badou Jack still blasting away. And DeGale, that little right hook by DeGale, one of his better punches in the last couple of rounds. And there's another one. What if he had another 40 seconds? Would he have hurt Badou Jack? We don't know. But it was excellent.
As it should be, with again the two best at 168, delivering the good.
That's the thing, Mo. Sometimes guys are so skilled that they are fighting very defensive fights. You don't always get a fight between this magnitude level of fighters that lives up to the hype. Because sometimes they're so good that they don't get hit like that.
Look at the punches landed round by round in the edge in favor of Badou Jack.
Right, and you know, these fights are scored by round. Of course, that's the SHOWTIME interpretation of it, and the judges may be seeing it differently, but for Badou Jack in that regard, gets the edge. And there's no question that man, Badou Jack, landed the cleaner, bigger punches for the most part in this fight. But James DeGale was very active, and it's a question of who did what in each round.
Right, Alan. Watching with vested interest, Liverpool and Callum Smith undefeated, a mandatory challenger for the WBC titles. We look at the show stats.
Yeah, and you see that, you know, in terms.
Okay, let's stop right here. Let's look at the show stats. Now, total punches. Badou Jack, 231 of 745. That's 31%. James DeGale, 172 of 617. That's 28%. Jabs, James DeGale, 4 of 149. He landed 4 jabs the whole fight. Badou Jack, 29 of 223. Power shots, 202 of 522, 39% for Badou Jack, 168 of 468, 36% for James DeGale. Now, it wasn't like a super bad robbery. It was a really, really close fight. But still, Badou Jack's shots meant more. And James DeGale somewhat smothers his punches also. If you notice, I consider James DeGale to have sort of a herky-jerky type style. You know, he hits you with a lot of sneak punches. And he doesn't really fire in, he doesn't really let his hands go. And if you notice, even with the fight with George Groves and with the fight with Andre Durrell, later on in the fights, his fighting style, like he can catch you with some sharp shit early in the fight. Like where he busted Andre Durrell's face all up. Between rounds 1 to 5, 6, James DeGale was really, 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 really dangerous. But toward the end of fights, he becomes mediocre-ish, partly because of his punch mechanics, I guess. It's hard to say because he his punches are kind of like slaps. And he fights in there like that low type stance. And you never really see him really, really, really sit on his punches. So if you really look at it, Badou Jack was walking through that shit. He was walking through his punches. Was he not? And the more meaningful shots of the fight belong to Badou Jack. But let's not get it twisted. Those first few rounds, they were up. Those first several rounds, they were up in the air. Because each time you thought that James DeGale was probably going to get knocked out or go down, what we saw was that over in the UK, they call it he had bottle. Yo, he's pissing blood right now. He already missing his teeth. His teeth is going. Listen. We got to listen to this shit. Is hilarious. We got to listen to the cards and we got to listen to this post-fight interview. You got to listen to the way he's talking, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
To the same, more punches thrown by Jack. Now that's a surprise.
And in the meantime, while we're listening to this, I'll be doing shit in the background. So I'm not going to put the video on pause. So I'm just going to be doing shit in the background, sending the video around and stuff, and reading the chat. So I can read the chat.
Felt if he was going to win this fight, he was going to have to be more active. And I think when you look at that number thrown, which we know is a definitive number, wow, then you have to say to yourself,
over 1,350 ounces they combined for out. All right, well, we are set to find out who is going to walk away as the unified super middleweight champion. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. Here are our totals. Judge at ringside, Glenn Feldman scores about 114 to 112 in favor of James DeGale. Judges at ringside, Julie Letterman and Steve Weisfeld both scored about 113 to 113, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw. Both champions retain their belts.
Well, maybe not a popular decision, but can I hear rematch?
Well, you know what? I feel like it would have been a shame for one of these guys to leave the ring tonight, not a champion.
Yes.
I'm almost happy. You know, usually you're disappointed with the draw. I'm happy both of these guys get to leave the ring tonight as a world champion.
Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much. Let's start with you, Badou. What is your assessment of this fight and the draw?
He was doing a lot of running. He was throwing a lot of shit on my guard. I thought I won the fight. I finished stronger. And the knockdown, his knockdown was a flash knockdown. No excuses.
Did that come back, obviously, to haunt you, that first round, that 10-8?
Maybe, but I won the fight.
Don't listen to me, Robert. Listen, I've got huge respect for this man. He showed he's tough. he's durable, he's skillful. You the man. I thought I won that. Was I really not?
You think you won?
Yeah. By the way,
Why?
quite good. Give me. Look at he. So it's a break. But now it's a break. Come on, I'm so pretty.
Why do you feel you won the fight?
I thought the cleanest shots. He said he was gonna outbox me. I was moving my feet, picking his head off. But listen, let's do it again.
Well, let's do it again at light heavyweight.
Oh, heavyweight. But it's not mine. I'm gonna take over anyway. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he does. But I'm saying we can.
You fight again at 168?
If it's a rematch, yeah.
You're the best two super middleweights in the world. I'm going home next. Come to London, please. I'll pay you. See Eddie? Eddie, come in. We pay you.
You're upset with the... So let's talk about the end of the fight first, then we'll bring in Floyd and Eddie. The end of the fight, clearly,
He hurt you.
Knocked you down for the first time.
Yeah. Oh, he hit me, but I'm more balance. I've got to watch it back. But I'm kind of hurt. But I've got to give him respect. I've always respected him. He's a good all-round fighter, I'll say. But listen, skill pay the bills. You see the skills. I'm willing to do it again. But all respect to him, man. Trust me. Where's my belt? Come on there.
You gonna do it again?
Huh?
Do it again?
Come on.
Some good moonlight heavyweight. Yeah.
Floyd, why not fight again at 168?
Badou Jack has got too big for the 168 pound. We had plans on after this fight, moving up to light heavyweight. This is the second time in a row.
We're going to start talking immediately after this. We have to listen to it because it's relevant to, what we got to talk about. Also, I've heard that the people over in other countries didn't get to see this post-fight interview, just like sometimes when I watch Anthony Joshua fight or a Kell Brook fight, we don't get to hear the Sky Sports interview if it's aired on HBO or Showtime over here. So we got to listen to this. This is almost done, but it's just funny as hell how he got his teeth like knocked out. That shit was sounding hilarious. But if you want to check out any type of brief highlights of the fight, then go to my Instagram. The link is right there below in the description box. I can't show you any right now because I'm using my more weaker PC, so I don't want to overload things. That's how the stream got messed up last time.
Badou Jack has got a bad decision.
But this was a good fight. This was a great fight. So there's a lot of disappointment because both guys feel that they won. But this was a tremendous fight. You know that.
James DeGale is a hell of a fighter, but tonight he didn't win. I respect him as a fighter, but Badou Jack was the better man tonight. But James DeGale is one hell of a fighter.
I'm the man with the draw. Don't interrupt me.
What's it going to take? Hold on. What's it going to take to have these two guys settle it in the ring and fight again?
Let's go again. You don't want it. Let's go.
Wants to do it again. You want to do it again?
I'll fight anybody.
Figure it out. Figure it out, guys.
We don't need to figure it out. I'm the promoter. This is my fighter. This is the second time this happened. 2 times in a row.
The judges didn't score a 10-8 round. He got hit in the first round. The judges did what they had to do, what they saw in front of them, Floyd.
It's all about being fair. At the end of the day, a lot of times, I don't know what the judges be looking at. When I fought Oscar De La Hoya, one of the judges had him up by unanimous decision. When I fought Canelo, one of the judges had him winning. This is bad for boxing when it's all said and done. This is really bad for boxing.
But this was a good night for boxing. Floyd, thank you. It was a great night for boxing. Eddie, hopefully we'll see it again. You got one final thought?
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. It's a great fight. Great fight.
All right. More confusion. Morrow, back to you.
Jim, thank you so very.
Okay, so about 20 minutes. No, it was about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes after the Showtime telecast was over. They had the post-fight press conference on Facebook, on the Showtime Facebook page. If you don't know what a post-fight press conference is, it's when the promoter, in this case Floyd Mayweather, and the fighters, in this case James DeGale, Badou Jack, Gervonta Davis, and Jose Pedraza. James DeGale wasn't there, and Jose Pedraza wasn't there because they were in the hospital. Now, insurance for fights in for boxing in New York is extremely high. So, you know, they're supposed, you know, normally the fighters will be at the post-fight press conference, but if they get hurt too badly, you know, they go rush directly to the hospital. So I really wanted to see what he had to say, and also wanted to see what Eddie Hearn had to say. You know, but let's just try to start at a more logical starting point. All right, it's like this. The rematch, I don't think the rematch is happening for multiple reasons. Number one is that Badou Jack, even though he still gets to keep his belt, you could tell he's going through it. You could tell he was going through it. I mean, he's going through it. He don't want to fight at 160 and 168 anymore. He wants to fight at 175. He must, you know, he must be really struggling. So you can just, if you saw the interview and you're just looking at his face and the way he's just looking at James DeGale, he like, man, this is some bullshit, man. That's the way he was looking, like, this is some bullshit. Because James DeGale was like, like we can have the fight, you know, with his all fucked up mouth and everything. And then he like 175. That's what Badou Jack said. You know, so it's so many things that's going to stop that fight from happening. You know, and then Mayweather is trying to sign James DeGale. He was talking about that at the post-fight press conference. He said that James DeGale is a free agent. You know, but if James DeGale ever want to fight at home again, I know he don't go back to Frank Warren, so he better not burn no bridges with Eddie Hearn. But now, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see what Badou Jack is going to do, because now, guess what? Eddie Hearn is the promoter of Callum Smith. Callum Smith is the mandatory. So either Callum Smith can fight somebody for that belt, not named Badou Jack. Who would it be? Anthony Durrell. If Badou Jack moves to 175, like he says, then the WBC will likely order Callum Smith versus Anthony Durrell. Then, if Anthony Durrell turns it down, they're going to go whoever is next in line. We're going to look at all over later. But if the rematch happens, I think that it would have to happen like at a catchweight or at 175. And if it doesn't happen at a catchweight or 175, then you have to question, well, what if Badou Jack loses? You know, we've known that he's been wanting to move. He's been openly telling the media that he's been wanting to move to 175 for a while now. Couple years. So if he was to fight James DeGale at 168 and he loses, and like, well, you know, he can say, well, I was drained. I told you I wasn't supposed to be there. So, you know, I think that the fight would have to happen, you know, at a reasonable catch weight. You know, this seems like a situation like if one person is like, yo, you know, like everybody really think I won, and plus I'm struggling making this weight. You say you want the fight to happen. Let's do it at 170. But James DeGale now has to fight a mandatory. Jose Uzcategui, I forgot how to pronounce his name. I'm going to get it right. You know, so he's got to fight a mandatory. And now we're going, and then we got to see what's going to happen with that WBC belt. Uzcategui. And the thing is, I practiced his name when he was ordered to fight James DeGale the first time before he got hurt. I was practicing his name because he was fighting. He fought on PBC on Fox Sports 1, I believe it was. And I said, I'm going to learn this dude's name because that's what I do. If it's a fight I don't know his name, by the next time I cover them, you know, I make sure I'm not fucking their name up. Uzcategui. I'll figure it out. But yeah, you know, so that rematch, I really don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. Now it's going to be interesting to see what James DeGale does next. He seems like an open and honest dude, and he comes across in the media as an open and honest dude. You know, so is he going to say, you know, I could have did better, but it was a close fight. And the crazy part about it is, what if Badou Jack didn't get that knockdown on the last round? Right? What if he didn't get that knockdown? He would have lost. And then we would have been saying robbery. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? Think about those apples. Think about that shit. I need some more tea. But yeah, a draw, it's like this, I feel, and I'll say it again. I feel that Badou Jack punches meant more. James DeGale's style, with his punch mechanics and that little herky-jerky style he has, it's almost a recipe for disaster, especially in later rounds. You know, he'll hit you with some sharp, sneaky shit between rounds 1 and 5, bust your shit all up. But then when it comes to later on in the fight, he slows down. I mean, he doesn't really slow down, but he doesn't really adjust well. You know, and his punch output is not high. You know, his punch output is not high. You're damn right, KOD Testimonies. Damn right. So James DeGale wasn't losing bad. He was he was getting fucked up. Those uppercuts, the whole mouthpiece shit. One point in time, he spit the whole mouthpiece out. But I'm thinking like, okay, maybe like one of his teeth was probably loose. Maybe it was like it was. I think it was. Paulie Malignaggi was saying that, you know, it was like, you know, the breathing. It could have been the breathing. You know, maybe he was able to breathe better, you know, once he started gassing without the mouthpiece, because that shit was just flopping out. One time he spit it straight out. Or what it is it could have been so much discomfort of his shit getting all cut up, because you don't know, like little tiny pieces of broken tooth and all the teeth and all that shit. Yeah, so everybody keep their belts. You know, so, you know, but that mouthpiece just kept flopping out. It was that first uppercut, and then he got his teeth. I believe it looks like what is it? 2 teeth? I gotta go look at some pictures. What is it? 2 teeth that got knocked out, or was it one got knocked out and the other one was like broken? You know, but whatever it was causing him some major speech problems. So the point is, you know, he's pissing blood. He was taking some mean body shots. You know, so James DeGale can hold his own. He can take an ass whooping. And it wasn't really an ass whooping, because whatever Badou Jack was given, even though Badou Jack had more power, James DeGale was trying to give back, and he was giving back. You know, you'll see him getting fucked up on the ropes and getting fucked up with those left hooks on, you know, or those right hooks to the body. And then what he'll do? Come back with a he lost the whole upper row. Yeah, that shit's all broken, right? You can tell. That shit's all broken. Yeah, let me look at this shit. He lost all that shit. I'm scared to put that. I'm going to share this image, but does it say live? I hope it does. Yeah, I can't share images, or my whole shit just crashed there. My whole shit just crashed. So I can't share images. You know, but basically go to my Instagram or just go look it up. I'm sure the picture is circulating right now. And I'm sure they're having a field day. There are memes being made, and, you know, Photoshops and video. You know, they're having a field day with his teeth. Let me see if I can show you. You know, I can't pull it up on the screen. But yo, can't see it. His shit's fucked up. It's too much glare. You can't see it. Let me see if I can do it this way. See if I can do it this way. No, too much glare. But his shit's fucked up, yo. His shit is fucked up. But now it's just like, well, where does James DeGale go? You know, I mean, I understand that he fights as mandatory, but does he go after? Okay, for example, you have George Groves, you know, who is going to be taking on I forgot to pronounce his first name. The Dmitry Chudinov, right? No, Dmitry Chudinov is the one that fought Nightwolf. That's the one that fought Eubank. No, he's not fighting Chudinov. Let me look at this shit. Who is George Groves fighting? Let me look this up real quick. But basically, it's the WBA. Remember, Badou Jack was the WBC. Well, he's the WBC still. James DeGale is the James DeGale is the IBF. Gervonta Ramirez is the WBO. And Fedor Chudinov. George Groves will be fighting Fedor Chudinov for the WBA. So I'm thinking James DeGale versus Badou Jack. We don't know what's going to happen with that, but if Caleb Smith fights Anthony Durrell, Badou Jack moves up, then James DeGale can fight the winner of that. I feel comfortable to say that I feel James DeGale can beat Anthony Durrell. Caleb Smith, I don't know. I don't know. Can he beat George Groves in a rematch? Yes, I do believe he can beat George Groves in a rematch. That would be a unification. We're talking about both unifications. Or he has no political, well, outside of Al Heyman, but I don't think Al Heyman would give him any issues if he wants to fight Gervonta Ramirez for that WBO. Because right now his mandatory, like I said, is Jose Utsati guy. And then guess what? There's no number 2. They don't have a number 2 rank, but they have a number 3. And it's Andre Durrell. So he may have to fight Andre Durrell again. You know, if Andre Durrell would want to fight. Then you got Caleb Smith, who's number 4, but Caleb Smith is waiting on that WBC. But Eddie Hearn can put some pressure, right, on the IBF and say, yo, see if Andre Durrell wants to fight. You know, and see if Jose, you know, Utsika guy wants to fight. But if they don't, then we'll take that fight, or see if the WBC just gives them that WBC belt if Badou Jack move up, kind of like what they did with Golovkin. When Canelo vacated, they gave it to Golovkin, but Golovkin was the interim champion. But you know, with these organizations, they be having all these crazy ass, wacky ass rules and shit, you know. But yeah, I had Badou Jack winning the fight. Badou Jack won the fight. You know, James DeGale was getting hands laid on him. So Floyd Mayweather said, you heard him say that, you know, the promoter saying is like, yo, he can't make the weight. The weight is killing it. And you can physically see it, like the way, you know, Badou Jack was talking about it. It's like, yo, I can't keep doing this 168 shit. So if the rematch would happen, I see it happening. I see it happening. Remember, we never thought we'd get Berto Ortiz too. You know, that's a whole different situation. But I'm saying I can see it happening. Not this year, maybe in like 2020 or some shit like that, like 2018, like late 2018, something like that. But right now, it looks like for the rematch to happen, James DeGale's got to move to 175. But who says he has to do it right now when he still got big fights at 168? And also, Badou Jack is the bigger fighter. So, I mean, was the fight really, you know, I watched it once. After this stream is over, while I'm uploading shit and doing shit, I'm going to have it playing in the background, and I'm going to watch it again. But now I think it's time to move on. When is my site going live? My site is live right now. You know? Can y'all still see me? Are we live? I'm having technical difficulties. I'm not using the same computer. So I got like everything is real sensitive and shit. I'm running, I'm doing a lot on not a powerful enough PC. Not a powerful enough PC. So listen, we got to talk about Gervonta Davis. He's in the deep end now. Remember remember the division he's in. He's the IBF champion. Vasyl Lomachenko is the WBO champion. Francisco Vargas is the WBC champion. I forgot who the WBA was. Let's go look. It's Corrales, right? 130. Jason Sosa. Now, the thing about the IBF is they are strict, but their rankings are known to be kind of weak. For example, guess who Gervonta Davis has to fight next? Billy Dibb. That's the mandatory. He has to fight Billy Dibb next. The winner of this fight has to fight Billy Dibb, and since he won, he's got to fight Billy Dibb. And then you got some fighters who I see that he can likely beat. For example, maybe a Liam Walsh, all these, Andre Klimov is still a lot of names that's in there you probably don't know unless you watch like a lot of journeyman fights. But him and Tevin Former have been going back at it and going at it. And guess what? Tevin Former is ranked higher. Well, before he won the belt tonight, Tevin Former was ranked number 7 and Davis number 8 by the IBF. But Davis went on to fight Pedraza, and now he's the champion. They've been going back and forth, on at it on social media. Him and Tevin Former. And remember, Jose Pedraza beat Tevin Former. I think that was a 4-round fight, though. And that's when Tevin Former was having some shit going on with his career. He wasn't focused. So, but now, he's in the deep end now. He's a champion, So what's going to happen if somebody calls him out? What would happen? I'm not saying it would happen because already you got Lomachenko talking about moving to 135. But what would happen, right, if Vasyl Lomachenko say, "I want all the belts. I'm not leaving until I get all the belts"? For one, Floyd and Bob Arum can't work together, like in that capacity yet, unless there's like real super crazy major money involved. And also, Floyd Mayweather has openly told boxers to duck other boxers. You think he's gonna let his fighter go in there against high-tech Lomachenko? So I'm sorry. Don't even waste your time thinking about that fight, that unification fight. We wouldn't see it. You think we're going to see him versus Francisco Vargas, right? You think we're going to see Gervonta Davis versus a Francisco Vargas? We'd be hyped if we see a Gervonta Davis versus Takashi Mora. But isn't he Golden Boy too? Golden Boy and Golden Boy and Mayweather Promotions are not worked together to do a fight. Golden Boy and Mayweather Promotions together? That's not happening. He can go after that WBA, try to get a unification with that. But you got to think he's the youngest champion right now, active champion. He's 22 years old, but he is a champion, no matter how you slice it. So you can't just be saying, "No, I'm going to keep him away from these guys, and we're going to continue to build him." He's a champion. It's no, you don't, you make your champion profitable, and you do what you can do to keep them in good fights that you hope they can win. But you can't keep him away from unifications. For how long are you going to do it? You going to wait? No, keep fighting everybody in the IBF, not trying to get another belt. So it's a good thing in a way that Gervonta Davis is young because now, he can get some shit done. He can get shit popping. I mean, of course, he still has things to work on, but he's young. As long as he stays focused with the foundation that he has now, if he stays focused, and I hope he's not one of them knucklehead young dudes, that want to be in the streets, dealing with all these different. I'm gonna break the fourth wall, dealing with all these different young bitches, because he got the money, He a champion. He want to, you know, be in the club and everything. Let's hope he don't go down that Adrian Broner route. I'm not being disrespectful to Adrian Broner, but let's just say, you know, like we've read the fight hype article, and if you haven't, go check it out. When Floyd Mayweather put that young man in his place. Floyd Mayweather tell you to do something, you do it. You 22. You know, you do it. So I just hope that, you know, he don't go back to be more, you know, and be on some young kid shit out here trying to still hustle when you a fucking world champion doing dumbass shit, going to the club and all that. It's like, yo, bro, you know, your foundation is tight. Don't be one of them. Don't be the fact that he's 22 and he's a champion now. Don't be no 26-year-old has-been. You know. So what did he say? He said he's going to get fat. Let's listen to it. Well, I can go make some tea.
Guys,
Yeah, this is
You know, let's go listen to it. Let me do it first.
from Sweden.
That's why I'm rewinding it. You know. Exactly. No, I think he is in Vegas now. I believe he's in Vegas now. Because Floyd was like, yo, come to fucking Vegas. You know, I hear you out there doing shit you're not supposed to be doing. And I pretty much know what they was hinting at. I know like the little, you know, like I think I know, but you can kind of put together like what was going on. You know, because he's 22. All you see him doing on his Instagram and his social media and everything is just throwing money everywhere. And it's like, yo, bro, we know you just like really started your career. So we know you really, really don't got it like that. And what's that, advance money? Come on, we know how the boxing business work now. And you can kind of see that it was like other shit going on too, where Floyd just was like, yo, you got to get away from that shit. Especially when you're my #1 prospect, you're an asset of mine, you know? You're an asset to the company and to yourself. So bring your ass out to Vegas so you can have some supervision. He's always high on PCP. Listen, I know I've seen some shit, you know, and I'm like, yo, and I was like, wait a minute, how old is he? 21? This was back, you know. I'm like, oh no, this kid's on the wrong path. But if you think about it, you know, he need good people around him because he didn't have that strong family foundation he talked about as part of his backstory. You know, so he need good people around him. You know? So let's listen to what he was saying. It was just one body shot he hit Jose Pedraza with, and Pedraza was not the same after that body shot. He did not lift his arm from that spot.
The opposite. Yeah, there have been moments, but I still think it's.
He did not lift his. You know, remember that body shot, and you can see when they showed it in slow motion. He go ah. You know, he was not the same. He probably had a fucking broken rib, because he was in the hospital. He wasn't at the post-fight press conference.
Of course, the great Jim.
I'm gonna wait for him to start talking, then we're gonna it's muted now. So I'm waiting for him to start talking, then I'm gonna unmute it. So I'm really interested to see where Gervonta Davis goes from here. Now I know he's gonna fight Billy Dib. He can beat Billy Dib, but Billy Dib is not a joke. Even with the failed drug test, I understand. You know, but he's not bad, yo. He's not bad. So that's gonna be a good, nice step up for him because, truth be told, how did Gervonta Davis get this title shot? I can understand when the WBA ordered him to fight Jason Sosa. I'm thinking, look, it's the WBA. But I'm thinking, like, how did he really get this title shot? So it's like, yo, you know, Jose Pedraza is good, solid, you know, ranked, you know, experience with a nice record competition. When you look at Steven Smith, we look at Tevin Farmer, even Edna Cherry on this record, and a couple of other names that I'm forgetting right now. You know? So we're gonna listen to his post-fight interview and probably hang out for another hour. So I've been feeling good. This is the first time I've had days off. Like, you know, days off in a while. I can actually focus on boxing. So that's what's up, right? He hit the shit out of him. And now I'm wondering where Jose Pedraza goes. Don't you know he got some, or he did, I don't know if he still has them, but he had some major promotional issues. He got like 4 promoters. Really? I remember, I don't know if he's still a Gary Shaw fighter. No, I'm not gonna block Punch Drunk. When people post stuff like that, you can tell they just want your attention. So I'm not gonna. Those are the people that watch your streams like all the way in their entirety. You know, just to be on your dick. So no, I'm not gonna like block him. I know the truth. I know the truth. But he hit the shit out of him. We're gonna listen to his post-fight interview, and then go from there. But while we're doing that, I'm gonna go make me another thing of tea. No, I'm really going to try to stay on for like another half an hour. I want to make this show no more than an hour 15 minutes. But remember, when I started, I had to start back over because I was having technical difficulties. So we're going to listen to Gervonta Davis, the Mayweather post-fight interview. Also, we're going to watch a little bit of the post-fight press conference, or listen to a little bit of the post-fight press conference. Because Mayweather was talking some crazy shit about how basically that they signed all Golden Boy fighters, you know, and he was talking some crazy shit. He was talking some crazy shit. So we need to listen to some of that. I don't know how long I've been on. How long have I been streaming? You know, so I don't want to make this stream no more than an hour and 15 minutes. So we have so much boxing news that we might as well get out while I'm here. So once he start talking, it's going to be about 5 minutes or so. I'm going to go put my tea in the microwave, and then we're going to get back talking about boxing again. So let's listen to what Davis has to say. Also, if you didn't see the post-fight press conference for this fight, about 20 or so minutes, no, it was more than 20. It's about 45 minutes after the telecast ended. 45 minutes after the telecast ended, they had a post-fight press conference with Floyd Mayweather, Leonard Ellerbe, Tomas Delorme, who else? Gervonta Davis, and Badou Jack. Jose Pedraza and James DeGale was in the hospital. But basically, Floyd Mayweather was controlling the mic and just was talking all this crazy shit. So you can go watch that on the Facebook like page. And also, what I'm going to do is, let me see if it's up now. Also, what I'm going to do is, if I remember to do it, I'm going to put the post-fight press conference on the website. But if this stream is going to go any longer, I got to go get some more heavily caffeinated tea. Okay, so I can do it. All right. Yeah, so if this stream's going to go any longer, I'm going to have to go get some more decaffeinated tea. I mean, ultra caffeinated tea. So we're going to listen to this.
This moment.
It felt great, you know, just doing it in front of my fans, you know, taking boxing more serious, you know. I want to thank my promoter, you know, Floyd Mayweather, Leonard Ellerbe, you know, my manager, Al Heyman, and just my home support team and my team.
You can see the emotion in your face. To be this young and this accomplished, what does this mean to you? Can you even describe what it means to you at this moment?
It means a lot, you know. I put in hard work, my team put in hard work, you know. So just, you know, us coming out on top, it means a lot. And also having a great promoter, you know, a great boxer backing me, it felt great.
Where did you find this composure? With all this lack of experience, he had so much more experience and you were so composed, so ready.
I've been had experience. I was telling y'all that. Y'all didn't believe me. But you know, yeah, you know, every in this camp, I studied Pretty Boy for you. Not, you know,
Not money.
Money. I studied Pretty Boy Floyd, and you know.
But what did you learn from that?
Just stay composed. You know, he caught me with a lot of good shots. You know, and I took it and I dished it back out. That's what you show. I'm a real dog.
You are a real dog. Let's take a look at the end of the fight and tell us what you were seeing from your perspective as you put on this onslaught here at the end of the round. Right there. Big right. What are your thoughts on that?
I felt that he was weighing down. I caught him one time in the body, and you know he backed up. You know, and then my team, Carolyn, Kenny, you know, Floyd Mayweather told me go back to the body. You know, because you know once I feel like I got you out of there, I push on the button. But Floyd and my team said, you know, stay under control and go back to the body.
Floyd, is this the future of boxing, and did the future just arrive?
For this training camp, I didn't want to be around him. I didn't want to talk to him. I wanted him to focus so he can go out there and be the best, and that's what he did tonight. Is this the future of boxing? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Floyd, always good to hear from you. I'm sure the parents are very pleased with that. Let's now bring in Jose. Congratulations. Terrific. Jose? Felix de Jesus will translate for us. Jose, are you all right?
¿Está bien, José? ¿Está bien?
Muy bien, gracias.
Yeah, he's okay, he's okay.
What was your strategy? Because you were letting him take so many shots at you, and our guys, Al and Paulie, were saying, you know, you weren't moving your head and you were just kind of letting the onslaught go on. What was the strategy with that?
¿Cuál fue la estrategia, José? Porque estaban diciendo los muchachos ahí, los comentaristas, Al y Paulie, como que tú estabas entrando mucho y peleando de un tú a tú con él.
Mira, la estrategia básicamente era usar las manos largas y ponerle un poco de presión para ver si se cansaba. Pero hubo momentos dados que me ponía a pelear con él y creo que no era la estrategia, ¿no?
Yeah, the strategy basically was to fight him from a distance and try to fight him inside and kind of lose some of the power, but it didn't work out that way.
Didn't seem like you were able to employ that at all.
Parece que tú no estabas haciendo ese trabajo al comienzo.
No, definitivamente había momentos dados que sí lo hacía, pero yo creo que me ponía a hacerle más presión que usar manos largas.
In spurts I did do it, but then at the end I was trying to do too much pressure and that didn't work.
In the fifth round, you kind of came alive and won that round probably until the last 30 seconds. Did you feel as though at that point you were going to be able to establish control?
Ya en el quinto asalto tú comenzaste a pelear tu pelea. Ya a ese punto tú pensabas que tenías control de la pelea.
Sí, hubo momentos dados que sí me ajusté al plan y creo que llegaban mejor las manos, pero tenía algo que me obligaba a pelear.
Yeah.
We were listening to him for. So, yeah, as I said, Gervonta Davis is going to be fighting Billy Dibb next. I would like for them, since he's 22, right? You can use the Deontay Wilder method with him. The Deontay Wilder method, what we've noticed is he wants to be active. You know, he fights up until he got hurt 3 times a year. So I think that since Davis is still young, you know, make him fight 4 times a year. You know, hopefully that'll also keep him off the streets as well. You know? So I think he should be fighting 4 times a year. He's too young to be fighting just, you know, I mean, he's a champion now. But with a champion, usually champions only fight twice a year. Sometimes 3 times for a champion is too much. But this kid is young. He's not, you know, in his mid to late 20s. You know? Oh, and by the way, I am going to be back full time. For those who don't know, people always harassing me. You know, they don't know. I'm talking about the people who just come to my YouTube channel and don't go to nothing else. I brought a house. It is paid for. You know, everything's done. I'm moving in a few weeks. So I got to pack up all this stuff. I've been doing a lot. We built the website. You know, we're getting all that situated. We're slowly starting to get people to fights. I'm moving, getting people to get into fights. You know, it's a lot going on. You know, and the goal is doing all this so I can focus on boxing. So I'm doing all this stuff now. So therefore, sometime by the end of February, going into March, my whole life is going to be solely focused on my child, boxing, and my father. I'll be able just to wake up and just be like, you know. So for the people who are in the know, for the people who follow me, because I put all my fucking business out there and I do everything I say I'm going to do. You know, so for the people who are in the know, you know, y'all know I'm getting shit done. You know, so my goal for the last fucking 4 years is to be able to get to where I'm at right now, where I'm actually at the finish line, to be able to say, oh my God, my life, I'm just covering boxing, you know? So just hang in there, all right? I'm like literally, it's the finish line. Like we're weeks away. We're weeks away. So the website is here, but it's not as active as it should be because we're just not ready yet. We crawling before we walk. But now you get the gist of what we're going to be doing. You get the gist, you know? You get the gist. So you know it's just me and my pop. So I do everything. You know, so I gotta do all the moving, you know, I gotta do all the packing, you know, I gotta, you know, it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit that's gotta be done. So the way it's looking by the end of February, definitely, we're gonna be back full time. We made it. We made it. We made it. So I was supposed to be at this fight this week, but on Tuesday, what happened on Monday? I forgot what I did on Monday, but Tuesday was the Golovkin versus Jacobs press conference in Brooklyn. I couldn't go to that. I had a doctor's appointment. Wednesday, I had to go to the house. Thursday, I had court date for my crazy baby mom. Friday, I didn't want to go out there for the weigh-in, and then I just would have been too tired to go today. You know, so, you know. So there's been a lot of shit going on. A lot of shit going on. Oh, my dog died. Please stop bringing him up. Thank you. The dog died. So, back to boxing. Do we understand? And is there any questions about what's going to happen or what can likely possibly happen with Badou Jack, James DeGale? Going back to what I said at the beginning of the video, I don't think that a rematch is going to happen anytime soon because Badou Jack really, really wants to move to 175. He's having trouble. He's having trouble with 168. He really wants to move to 175. So James DeGale wants to be at 168, but also you have to think that both of these guys have mandatories. The IBF mandatory for James DeGale is Jose Utz-Katakai, and for WBC, Badou Jack, his mandatory is Callum Smith, but he wants to move up. So therefore, we're likely going to see Callum Smith versus Anthony Durrell for that WBC title. You know, if Badou Jack moves up, but we can see that as soon as early as maybe April or May, and that's crazy. You know, so you can say, well, you know, they can fight at a catchweight at like 170. Either way, that would still, with the IBF, see, the IBF is very strict. That would still take away one of James DeGale's fights. So he would have to fight Utz the guy, then fight him, meaning Badou Jack, at a catchweight, because Badou Jack don't want to do 168 anymore, and he's likely not going to have that WBC belt anymore. James DeGale is already saying, come to the UK. I believe the money's over there in the UK, but basically you're telling the guy who many feel won the fight, and he knows and feel he won the fight, you're telling him to come to your country. He can't even get the cards right in his own. This is not even his country. He can't get the cards right in the States. He's from Sweden. He can't get the cards in right in the States. Are you telling him to come to your backyard? So it's many reasons why I feel like the fight is just not going to happen. You know, the rematch is not going to happen like anytime soon. If it does happen, then that's going to mean that James DeGale has moved to 175. So options for James DeGale is he can fight Gervonta Ramirez. That's a unification. Gervonta Ramirez is a strong dude, you know. He can wait out the feeder shooting off George Groves situation. You know, and if George Groves win, you can have Groves versus DeGale too, because it would be Groves A side because he beat DeGale. You got Groves versus DeGale too in the UK. Big fight over there. You know. And then if you really want to you know, stick around at 168, wait out the winner of Anthony Durrell or Colin Smith, or go after Anthony Durrell to try to get that shot at. So you know there's a path for James DeGale now that he's still there. And plus, even though Badou Jack was whooping his ass, James DeGale was holding his own. Do I think that Golovkin will fight Triple G now? I mean, yeah, that Golovkin will fight DeGale now. You know what? Yeah. I didn't think he was really ducking him. You know, not James DeGale. I wouldn't say that he was ducking somebody like James DeGale, but, you know, I think he would. And plus, it's about time for James DeGale to go home. I'm not saying in a disrespectful way, but what I'm saying is he's fought here 4 straight fights now. That's why I said he'll be smart not to burn no bridges with Eddie Hearn, especially since Eddie Hearn got the UK boxing popping right now. It's lit. It's lit. I don't know if Golovkin knocks out James DeGale because, see, just like I was saying with Canelo versus Chavez, we don't know if Golovkin power carries up to 168. That shit be real. You know, that power shit be real. People power, you know, don't be carrying past, you know, in all these other divisions. You know, James DeGale has been a 168 pounder his whole career. You know. So it depends on how you look at it. It all depends on how you look at it. So what else is on the list? What's the next fight coming up? Oh God. The next big fight coming up is Cotto versus Kirkland. Cotto versus Kirkland. Yeah, people do go by gym stories. I know, you know, you hear all the time, yo, he hits hard, you know. Cotto versus Kirkland. And you know, they said Murat Gassiev, the which belt is that? He's the IBF cruiserweight champion. Him and Golovkin was going at a hard in sparring, they were saying. Frampton Santa Cruz too. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's gonna be lit. I got Frampton again. Why is what pay-per-view? Cotto versus Kirkland? Well, it's because Rock Nation gave Cotto all that money. So therefore, HBO is not going to pay Cotto to fight. HBO is not going to pay Cotto $15 million to fight on regular HBO. And the crazy thing is, they both lost their last fight to none other than Canelo Alvarez. They both lost their last fight to Canelo Alvarez. But guess what? Canelo versus Kirkland was on regular HBO, but then we get a Kirkland who's coming off of a loss to Canelo against a Cotto who's coming off of a loss to Canelo on pay-per-view. Where's the logic? Ain't no belt on the line. Where's the logic? And it's a shame I have to pay for it. But see, what I'm doing now is I'm doing something different. Don't you know that I got Comcast Xfinity, but I got like all these accounts. Basically, yo, I'm getting relief on my cable bill. So if anybody want a cable package from the internet, I can add you to my account, give you a little password and login. Fuck that, I'm selling that shit. I just got them sitting around. I need to start cutting spending and start like bringing money in. You know, fuck that. So I already made one deal today. You know. So I posted it on my social media. So you got to DM me to get like details. Cable bill. My cable, I just paid an $820 cable bill. Cable bill I just got that's due on January 28th is $363. And what was that? It had to be that McGregor fight. What was the last pay-per-view? It had to be McGregor versus Alvarez. I was like, damn, man. Okay, yo. Okay, Punch Drunk. Okay, I like you because you know you're a troll, you know. But if you're gonna try to clown me, don't clown me like like stretch it out. You know, don't put like one and then like 6 comments later you comment. Stretch it out like every 3 minutes or some shit. Stretch it out. You got my I just seen it. You got my attention now. Can't you get the cable tax back? Yes, you can. But what I'm saying is I still have, okay, all right. It's like, you know how you can make like different profiles? They just sitting there, you know? So the same access I have to all my cable, all my channels and shit on my phone and on my tablet, on my Xbox, or my Chromecast and everything. I said, well, wait a minute. I might as well just, you know, try to make some, you know, money off of that shit. And also, you know, hook people up, you know, like boxing fans and shit. So what fights I got, you got. You know, instead of giving my shit to bitches I'm not even sleeping with. I cut all they shit off. You're not smashing me, but then you're around some other nigga watching my cable. What type of shit is that? Excuse my language. Let me stay on topic. You got to understand, I can't stream fights. It's so inconvenient for what I do. Y'all see how I like to rewind and fast forward and have all that shit? You can't do that when you stream fights because you got to wait for somebody to upload that shit to YouTube. And then the sound might be fucked up. The video might be fucked up. Nah, like with the amount of work I got to do, you know, while doing the video and trying to watch the fight and decipher and do social media and all that. No, I can't do streams. That shit is whack. You can't provide good work off of streams. You know, you can't offer streams, you know. I'm glowing because remember my the camera's hooked up to a different computer. My computer, my supercomputer, just blew out yesterday. It's only 2 months old. So now the settings that was on that computer are not on this computer. So I'm gonna have to be dealing with this shit like this until they send my computer back to me after fixing it. You think Chavez Jr. can use his jab and height against Canelo? Well, I never know Chavez Jr. really have a jab. But yes, he can use his height and bullying to him. Where are these people coming from with these random questions, these old random questions? No, I don't talk to Don Juan Banks. I don't chill with him, nothing. Where y'all been at? Y'all late. Y'all late asking these old ass questions. Y'all tripping. I looked at the all over YouTube. Who's Special K fighting next? He said on Friday at the weigh-in of DeGale and Jack DeGale. He was here. He said at the weigh-in that he's given up on Amir Khan. So him and Errol Spence are working out a deal. So we can see him and Errol Spence in, I think they said May. You know, he's really going to fight Errol Spence. He's really going to fight Errol Spence. And also, there was many things going on with Khan because that fight would have been extremely hard to make because Khan's not even ranked by the IBF. So it's like you can't pay Errol Spence step-aside money, you know, for a guy that's not even ranked for him to get a title shot. It would have been, you know, it was you know, that fight was extremely difficult to make because of the whole IBF situation. You know, so Amir Khan be blowing smoke. Amir Khan be blowing smoke. So Amir Khan's just trying to get those, you know, like a couple more fights to make some money, then he's going to cash out. Because his chin already cashed out on him. His chin bailed out on him. His chin cashed out. Let me see. What other fights? You know, I mean, now boxing season is here now. Let's go look at the boxing schedule. I wish I could show it to y'all. I can't do anything. I don't want the I don't want to crash my my PC. I'm doing so much. I want to crash my PC. I'm doing so much. I got a lot of shit to do. I'll be having so much shit to do. It's hard as shit, motherfucking running a motherfucking business. It's always some shit that's got to be done. Like when you try to take like free time to yourself, or you think you're playing some video games or something, you're telling yourself in the back of the head, well, you should be doing this. You should be doing this. It's always something that's got to be done. Let's talk heavyweights. Yeah, we can talk heavyweights. Joseph Parker and Hughie Fury is done. Well, they've agreed. It hasn't been put out there in the media yet, but Bob Arum actually said out his own mouth that they've agreed that Joseph Parker and Hughie Fury are fighting for the WBO title likely in April. As we know, what's that, February the 25th? Or is it January the 25th? It's February the 25th because it's the same day as Cotto versus Kirkland. Deontay Wilder is back fighting Andre Wałęsa, Polish guy who only loss was to none other than Alexander Povetkin. Anthony Josh was taking on Vladimir Klitschko April the 29th. There's a 60 to 70% chance I'm going to that fight. And the only reason why I won't go to that fight is because if I send somebody, you know, so I'm trying to figure out what cost, you know, but I need to get to London. It's time. You have David Haye versus Tony Bellew. That fight going to be lit, even though, you know, David Haye is probably going to put a boot in Tony Bellew ass, and I'm a big Tony Bellew fan. That fight's on March the 4th. And then David Haye is the mandatory for the winner. If David Haye beats Tony Bellew, he'll be the mandatory for Joseph Parker and Hughie Fury. But there's a trump, too. He might fuck around and be the WBA mandatory, too. Eddie Hearn wants Luis Ortiz versus Gerald Big Baby Miller. But the thing is, Big Baby Miller been calling everybody out. He ain't been calling Luis Ortiz out. Will he take the fight? But he's having some promotional issues too. What else? We're missing a couple of people. Some shit's going on. Okay, now listen, let me tell y'all. Expect for Alexander Povetkin to still be the mandatory for Deontay Wilder. The WBC released a press release saying that they were going to release the results of Alexander Povetkin's B sample right now. So listen, his test came back. Okay, it's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. But the gist of it is, whether you think he's dirty or not, the amount of ostarine that was found in his system was so small that that from my understanding, in the deep rules of the guidelines, that it can't be ruled as somewhat of a failed test. So you may have failed the test because it was in your system, but it's hard to explain. But basically, the WBC was supposed to release the result of his B sample, right? And the B sample will show, okay, well, now you failed another one too. Look at the B sample as a whole nother drug test. So we were supposed to find out if he failed to pass this drug test on January the 6th. I got the email on January the 6th. We ain't hear nothing. So that means they know that there's going to be like backlash about like, how's this guy keep beating all these drug tests? Shannon Briggs is going to be fighting Fresno Quindo. But the thing is, nobody knows where the fuck Fresno Quindo's at. We've been hearing for the longest that he's been in the gym. I've been thinking that he probably got real fat because he hasn't fought in almost 3 years, and yet he's the mandatory for the WBA title. And guess what? He not only did he not fight in almost 3 years or 2 years plus, it's been 2 years plus. He lost his last fight, but yet he's the WBA mandatory. So what shit's going on? Tyson Fury is on his way back. Tyson Fury's on his way back. You know? We don't know when he's going to fight again. You know, but he's on his way back. The first thing they have to do is he's got a shitload of weight to cut. Then, you know, he's got to get in there sparring and everything. Then he's got to start negotiating. And then he's got to be mentally strong to deal with the fact that everybody going to call him a cokehead. But he's got a good sense of humor. But then again, they said he had a nervous breakdown, and the reason why he started doing the coke and everything because he couldn't stand the pressure of how, like, he was getting all this all this flack for being outspoken. But yet Anthony Joshua was being looked at as being like a saint, and you know, like it was this. So I'm thinking, like, is he really as mentally strong as they saying he is? And I'm a big Tyson Fury fan. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the Anthony Joshua Vladimir Klitschko undercard. Now, of course, it's an Eddie Hearn Presents production, so of course you're going to have Callum Smith on there. You have a Luke Campbell. You know, you have a Steve Smith. Of course, you're going to have a Conor Benn, Katie Taylor. You know, they're going to be on the card. But what's the co-feature going to be? A lot of people thinking that it may be White versus Chisora too. I felt just Gerald Chisora won the fight, but either way, that was a good-ass fight, and it was a close-ass fight. But that fight can be a big enough fight on its own. That fight can be a big enough fight on its own. And also the buildup of that fight can't be good because if Derek Chisora does anything, he can't fight for 2 years. So the buildup is going to be just fucking vanilla. Luis Ortiz is the mandatory for the winner of Joshua versus Klitschko. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? So it's a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit going on. Let me go look at the heavyweight rankings again to make sure I'm getting all the names. Let's go to the heavyweight division. I'm getting all the names. Kubrat. Oh, listen to this. So there's 2 mandatories. The winner of Joshua versus Klitschko has to fight Kubrat Pulev first before they fight Luis Ortiz. So the winner of Joshua versus Klitschko has to fight Kubrat Pulev. And there's been stirrings around that Anthony Joshua would drop his belt, but that's just bullshit rumors. That he would drop his belt then to not fight Kubrat Pulev. Not because of he don't feel he can beat Pulev, but because of I forgot what it was for. I forgot what it was for. Archer Spielka is returning to take on Dominic Breazeale on the undercard of Wilder versus Waddick. David Price is fighting somebody soon. I forgot who. That card just became official. Alexander Ustinov is still waiting on what the WBA is going to do. I forgot to mention him in regards to the Fresno Quendo situation and the Shannon Briggs situation. Shannon Briggs wants his fight against whoever it's going to be for that WBA title to be in the UK. So he's trying to fight over there for y'all, and he's smart because he knows he'll make way more money over there fighting in the UK than he would over here in the States. So go for it, bro. Go for it. So yeah, what else about the heavyweight division we got to talk about? I'm pretty much up on everything. I'm pretty much up on everything. Ortiz will fight Klitschko, Joshua, Mando. Well, yeah, of course he would want that. You know, of course he would want that. But then that means if that fight go through, right? Put it this way, they want to satisfy their IBF obligation first because the IBF will strip you. The WBA is more lenient. You know, so if Luis Ortiz is smart, he would want to not press the WBA. And remember, He's promoted by Eddie Hearn. Anthony Joshua is promoted by Eddie Hearn. If Vladimir Klitschko doesn't win, and I have a feeling that Vladimir Klitschko is going to win, but let's say if he doesn't, Eddie Hearn is the promoter of Luis Ortiz and of Anthony Joshua. And you can tell Luis Ortiz, well, listen, let him fight Kubrat Pulev, get that mandatory out the way. So then when you fight Anthony Joshua, if he beats Kubrat Pulev, then he'll be fighting for that WBA Super World. You'll already be likely the WBA World. It'll be more money. It'll be a unification. You know, so I think it'd be smart for him to go the WBA mandatory first. No, excuse me. The IBF mandatory first, because the IBF is more likely to strip you than the WBA. You know, and if Anthony Joshua wins, I think he'll have a better chance of beating Kubrat Pulev than he would Luis Ortiz. You know, don't put words in my mouth. Just process what I said. Don't put words in my mouth. Process what I said. Fucking this tea up. It's got like infused with melatonin. It's infused with melatonin. So yeah. What other divisions are we going to talk about while we're here? Canelo versus Chavez, I guess, is a good way to wrap up this stream, right? Davis versus Walters. I don't think that would happen. I don't think that would happen because of him being with Top Rank. I don't think that would happen. What's the deal with the Kovalev Ward rematch? We don't know what's going on with the Kovalev Ward rematch. They have to do something now because remember, Andre Ward has 3 belts. It's only a matter of time before that WBO, that IBF, or that WBA says you got to fight a mandatory. You waited too long. We gave you and Kovalev time to get this deal done. We got other promoters and managers breathing down our backs because they want their fighters to get that mandatories because they think you sweet for it. But yet you slow rolling with signing this contract for the Sergey Kovalev rematch. So, you know, yo, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised within the next, I would say, 3-4 weeks that you're going to hear one of those organizations, likely the IBF, say that we're going to give Andre Ward until such and such to get a deal done with such and such. Somebody not named Kovalev. You know? We talked about Gervonta Davis versus Vasyl Lomachenko. It's not happening. We already talked about that. It's not happening. It's not happening. So it depends on how you look at it. I thought a rematch clause being in the contracts mean you have to rematch. How can Ward just say, nah, I'm good on that, even though I signed the contract? That's what we're trying to find out. Because Kathy Duva said he can't have another fight unless they agree on it, but he can have another fight if one of the sanctioned bodies tell him he's got to have another fight, or they're going to strip him of his belt. They're going to strip him of his belt. So, you know, remember, he just don't have one belt. He's got 3 different organizations, 3 different titles. And you got those promoters of those other fighters that are in the number 1, 2, and 3 spots are saying, yo, if Kovalev can almost beat Andre Ward, we might be able to almost beat him. Let's see if we can get in there and stop that Kovalev shit and get our shot before Kovalev did. Get one of those belts. Think like how the other people around the situation are thinking outside of Kovalev versus Ward. The vultures are fucking swirling. The vultures are swirling around. They see those 3 belts on Andre Ward, and they know that he's slow rolling to get that deal done with Kovalev. I'm sure somebody's on the phone with the IBF like, well, listen, if you don't get that deal done, can you order my fighter to fight him? What's up? Even though that's hard to be at, I'm not saying they're doing that, but you know, if you just get my drift. For example, you got Nathan Cleverly. He was rumored to fight Andre Ward. He's the number 1 guy, the number 1 contender for that WBA title. So what if Eddie Hearn is like, yo, and like Nathan Cleverly, what if we put you in there against Andre Ward? You'd be fighting for 3 belts. Get you a nice little payday. You know? The WBO made Sergey Kovalev the #1 contender for Andre Ward. They just said, well, since he lost to you, we're going to make him still the #1 contender. You got to fight him. It's crazy. And he's not fighting Andre Ward. Oh, if you don't know, Adonis Stevenson is in talks to fight Joe Smith Jr. in April. Like, they're like real talks. It looks like it's going to happen. It looks like you're going to see Adonis Stevenson versus Joe Smith. I'm down for that fight. And I hope Joe Smith wins. I hope Joe Smith wins. Have you just shut the stream off without y'all knowing? How would I do that? No, because see, once you stop the stream, if you don't catch it real quick and go right back in, then it starts saving and it turns into a video. That's the problem I had earlier. So I had to create a whole new link, retype all that shit up in the description and all that shit. So no, you can't stop. It's all live. You can't stop. It's live. That's the shit my baby mom was trying to say when she had me locked up, that I knew how to fucking bend time. Like, this shit is all live. What is it like? It's like a 5-second delay or something. Or some shit like that. So if you don't, they give you probably like maybe 30 seconds, you know? Because say, for example, if I close this screen out, right? Like, if I close this screen out by mistake, that means I gotta fucking hurry up and go right back into my YouTube, like, oh shit, you know, and go to live events and click it and hope that it still says resume. If it don't say resume, then that means the video goes into processing and it's not a live stream anymore. You can't get back in. Can't get back in. So that's the worst. You know, it's happened to me a couple of times. It happened today. You know, you don't want those problems. Because then people be watching the stream you was on, and then you're naming the next stream the same name as the one that just got shut off, so people be confused and it take people time to get back. Take people time to get back. I need one of those back things that people be having in their office. Like, I be in this chair sometimes, man, way too much, man, sitting here watching this shit and, you know. No, my Fight View 360 stuff. I'm going to New York for the Garcia. My week is free next week. I couldn't get there this week because I wasn't free. I was doing all that house shit and had a doctor's appointment and a court date. I'm going to New York for the Garcia and Thurman kickoff press conference. So basically, I had to put them. I didn't want to wash them like the regular wash, so I took them to the dry cleaners. It was only $8. I took them to the dry cleaners because I'm going to wear them, because if I'm going to New York to a press conference, right, and y'all see me in people's videos, I want to be seen in my shit, you know, like something with my brand on it. So I got them like nicely folded and shit, you know. So when I go to New York, they're going to look like, you know, like everything all fresh, smelling the dryer sheets and stuff, you know. So that's why I'm not wearing them during the video. Because you know how when you first like wash something, it get like that nice snug feel to it, you know? Do you think Joe Smith has the tools to beat Stevenson? Well, if you look at the fact that Adonis Stevenson is only a 3-punch pony, you know, yes, of course he's got the straight left, but it's either to the top or straight to the body. He rarely throws a hook to a body, rarely. And the jab. You know, but one thing about that left hand is that left hand will fuck you up, similar to Manny Pacquiao's, because he'll keep firing and he will hit the shit out you with it. But as you can see, that shit wasn't working really like that with Fonfara. So can Joe Smith take it? I think Joe Smith can beat him. I think Joe Smith can beat him. But will he beat him? That's the question. See, man, I said I was gonna be off here in a half an hour. We're ending this in 10 minutes. How long does the video say? How long does it say that we've been live? Because I like to end the videos at like an even number. Let me check. Y'all gonna lie to me anyway. Y'all can't be trusted. Let me check my damn self. Damn it, it just didn't tell me. I'm checking on my phone. I mean, we covered everything pretty much. We covered everything pretty much, right? Am I signed into the internet? How long have we been live? 1 hour, 30 minutes. So we got to go for 15 more minutes. I wanted to end at 1:40, like 1 hour, 45 minutes. Damn it. So we got to go for, what was that? So we've been live for 1 hour and 31 minutes. So we got to go live for 14 more minutes. So yeah, let's talk about Canelo versus Chavez. You know the gist? Okay, the catch weight is 164.5. 164.5. I never heard of a half size catch weight. Chavez said on what did he say? Was it the ESPN or something? But Boxing Hype had posted it that Canelo was on some real diva shit. For example, Chavez is making like 6 million plus pay-per-view buys. We don't know how much, but Canelo's going to make 30 plus. No rehydration clause from what we've heard. There's no rehydration clause, but what there is every pound over the 164.5 limit, Chavez has to pay $1 million. So if he comes in weighing 160, if he comes in weighing 165.5, it's $1 million. If he comes in weighing 165, that's 500,000. You know? But he's in good shape. He's walking around at his fight weight now, like at his walk around in ring weight now, lighter than his walk around in ring weight. That's why they wanted to negotiate this fight quickly, so Chavez can be motivated and to stay in shape. I think Chavez is going to walk Canelo down and bully him. I don't think Canelo's power is going to carry up. I did a whole 5-hour video talking about this shit, 4 hours, whatever. I don't think his power is going to carry up. You know that height advantage? Chavez is 6'1". Canelo's 5'7". Don't believe that box rec shit when it says he's 5'9". That's what he's listed at. But yo, if Mayweather's 5'8" and Canelo's shorter than Mayweather, go look at that face off. And Canelo be wearing Mexican shoes and shit, so he be having little heels. No disrespect. Canelo also fights in burst. He fights in 3-punch burst. People say he's going to outbox Chavez. He's not going to be moving around like Sergio Martinez. Also, one thing you notice about Canelo is there's certain times during his fights where he don't knock you out before the 5th round. Later on in the fights, did you notice he starts leaning on the ropes and shit? Starts using his head movement and everything? I understand that it'd be looking nice, but guess what? You don't want to do that against Chavez. You do not want to be on the ropes, and you do not want to be in the corner against Chavez Jr. You don't. You don't. You don't want to be in the corner, or you don't want to be on the ropes against him. He's the bigger fighter. He's going to be much more bigger. And with no rehydration clause, once again, I said it for the people who watch the streams that I do, but for the people who don't, I'll say it again. He has the best strength and conditioning coach in the world, whether you think he's shady or not. Mimo Haradia. He's the best strength and conditioning coach for a boxer in the world, whether you think he's shady or not. You know? So trust me, they keeping Chavez's shoe. They keeping him in shape. They're keeping him in shape. You know? I really think Chavez can do it. I really think he's going to end this whole golden boy shit they got going on. Or do you think they're going to do it? So wait, how long have we been live? Let me make sure I got this time right. Let me write this down. I don't say, man. Why is it so hard to see how many minutes a video has been on? Why do they make things so difficult? Why do I don't deserve this, man? I don't deserve this. It was giving me shit. Okay, so we got 10 minutes left. Okay, cool. So that's 3:21. Cool. All right, we got 10 minutes left. Yeah, I have been sitting for like 18 hours a day. Who's this guy? Fuck you, buddy. Pull up Chavez's resume. I can't. I'm not using the same computer. I'm scared if I pull it. If I pull up the resume, everything like the screen's going to crash, and then the stream's going to end. If it okay, put it this way, I'll pull up Chavez and Canelo's resume, but if the stream crashes, then I'm not restarting. So let's try it. We only got 10 minutes left anyway. Like I said, my the computer that's powerful enough to do all this stuff that I use, it blew out yesterday. Like the power, whatever that shit, the little brick thing that be back there inside, it blew out. Well, let's hope this works. Let's hope this works. But once again, disclaimer: if it crashes, then I'm not starting the stream back. So once I click this button, if it don't crash, then we good. All right, we made it. So look, first let's go look at how long Chavez has been fighting. Oh man, it stopped. Oh no, it's the wrong one. It's this one. All right, we good. Let's go look at how long Chavez is. Damn, why did they sign me out? They be doing dumbass shit. Real. Okay. Chavez Jr. has been fighting above the 154-pound limit since 2008, right? How many fights is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 fights where he's fought fighters that were middleweights, and he's been hit with middleweight power. This is 154. That's 154. It's 154. That's 154. You can say Canelo's been fighting at 154 on and off for a little while, but this is where it really started, right here, in this area. I remember what if you go look at what Jose Miguel Cotto did to him, he gave him a little dance. But as far as 160 is concerned, the only time he's been fighting at 160, it started. Do you know the story of how Canelo weight started? Do you know the story of how Canelo weight started? Canelo Alvarez, Alfredo This is how Canelo weight started. I'm not going to read all this. I'm just read the important part. Former junior middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez knew ahead of time that he would not be able to make the 154-pound weight limit for Saturday night's showdown with Mexican countryman Alfredo Angulo at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. So an increase was negotiated ahead of Friday's weigh-in. This was hours before the weigh-in of Canelo versus Angulo. Canelo's first fight back after losing to Floyd Mayweather at a catchweight of 152. Okay, so back to the article. According to the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Angulo agreed to change the contract to 155 pounds. In addition, Alvarez, who was due to earn a minimum of $1.25 million, agreed to pay Angulo an additional $100,000, raising his purse to $850K. Alvarez further agreed to a weight check on Saturday, in which he could not weigh any more than 168 pounds Eastern Standard Time. At Friday's official weigh-in, Alvarez was 155 and Angulo taking advantage of a heavier limit at 154.5. If Alvarez misses the 168-pound limit on Saturday, the camps will have to make another deal or Showtime pay-per-view could likely be in jeopardy. But basically, the point is that is where and how Canelo weight began. And then ever since then, he fought Angulo at the beginning of Canelo weight, Erislandy Lara at Canelo weight, James Kirkland at Canelo weight, Miguel Cotto at Canelo weight, Amir Khan at Canelo weight. That's 5 fights at Canelo weight. And then he had to get butt-ass naked and expose his fucking ginger penis to make 154 for Liam Smith. Then he moved to 165 after dropping his belt in between these 2 fights, saying we don't fuck around in Mexico. And then he gave his belt to Golovkin, but yet you moved to 165 when you said just less than a year ago that you wasn't a real 160-pounder. But hey, listen, this is a super fight. It makes so much money. You know? The fight makes so much money. You can't be mad at him. It makes so much money. If you can make that fight, you got to make it. But also, it's a big risk. They are relying on Chavez Jr. to be drained. What if he's not? He's still young. What if he's not? They are relying on him to be drained. What if he's not drained? We know that Chavez's in-ring issues have been linked to his out-of-the-ring issues, his discipline. What if this is the fight that really gets him disciplined? If he's really, really, really on his game, he can make 160. You know, so people making so much out of this 168-pound catch weight to muscle, he's going to be drained and all that. Yo, we don't know that. Because if he's focused, Chavez Jr. is what? He's up there now. He's up there now. He's like 30, 29, 30. He's 30. You know, he should be able to get to that 165. And then the fight with Dominic British, his last fight, which was in December, was at a catch weight of 169, but he weighed at 168 to show like, okay, I can get down. And they wanted this fight with Canelo to be negotiated and be finalized as soon as possible so he can have that motivation and stay in the gym and keep at a safe weight. So right now, they have him on a regimen where he's at a safe weight. He's at the weight right now that he thinks he's going to come into the ring as. So therefore, it's not going to be as hard and stringent on his body to slowly have this weight come off by May. You see what I'm saying? And he has the best strength and conditioning coach in the world. You know? So well, it depends, man. No, it depends. No, it depends. He just got to stay focused. You know, he can't let us pop down no more. He can't let us pop down no more. You know, so we got 2 more minutes. Again, thank you for your support. I'm going to be back full time in February, like I said, after I get this whole housing shit. Because the next couple of weeks is going to be rough. You know, the next couple of weeks is going to be rough. You know, because I got to take all this shit, and this is my boxing memorabilia and shit. You know. Next couple of weeks is going to be rough. So I'll be in New York one day next week. Oh, you know, holler at one time. Holler at Keith Thurman. I talked to him once. This will be my second time interviewing him. Yeah, we out of here in 90 seconds or so. You know, I'm about to just end this stream. My back is killing me. I got to get one of those, like those back things that people put in their chair, because when I'm in my chair, I'm never just leaning back and working. I'm always like this. You know, so I got to get one of those things. I mean, I got like, it reclines and stuff. You know, it reclines, but and I can lock it to stay in place. but I need like back support, like right here, you know, and shit. So my videos over the next few weeks are going to be sporadic. Of course, I'm going to be covering the fights, you know, but they're going to be whatever fights they're on, I'm going to cover them. But until I get all this moving shit done, you know, I just want to be like just clean of mind and not be stressing out. Because like I said, with this website and now having to do the videos, you know, you got to be ready. So now that the website's here, you know, we are learning everything. We're putting like the news out, the major news, you know, and now I got to do videos. Who are y'all talking to? Why are people worried about my weight and all that? I'm not even as heavy as I used to be. What does it matter to you? What type of weirdo shit do y'all, matter of fact, block? That's when I block people, when they be on like weirdo shit. It's like, what you want? You like me? What you worried about my physical appearance for? Fuck, you want to touch my stomach, you freak? Y'all be some freaks, you know? That'd be weird. Had Badou Jack the last round? Of course Badou Jack won the last round. Of course I can still fight until I gas out. But before I gas out, I'm going to pick something up and smack you with it. I'm going to probably pop you. I'm not going on World Star. And I don't walk around not strapped. And I'm going to leave it at that. I think it's a joke. Yeah, of course he won the last round because he got the knockdown. I think Badou Jack won the fight. But there won't be a rematch. But all right, I'm going to end the stream here. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. We had a pretty productive day. So now I'm going to be working in the background. Y'all can still hang out in the chat. I'm going to leave this window open. So I got to upload a couple of things to the website and, you know, like fix up this video and everything and then get ready for tomorrow. Peace.